Getting back to our origin of we the people. Tackling current issues, both political and legal, with common sense. As we the people, we must bring common sense back to make our lives better. Only on Now Media TV.
Hello, and welcome to an episode of We the People, because here we want to emphasize and focus on the issues that are really important to we the people, the vast majority of us whose voices were heard in the election time but want to continue to be heard. And for those of you like me, I watched Monday night's State of the Union address by Donald Trump, and I was embarrassed. Embarrassed by those that call themselves leaders and the way that they comported themselves. I remember a time when being in Congress, you still showed respect for the office of the president. You still showed respect to others. But I will say, based on the absolute disrespect that the Democrats showed, there is a dilemma in the Democratic leadership party, and it's responding to Trump's resurgence. The Democrats' rage against Trump and his machine, will they ever learn? Trump is beating them at the game because he's doing the 80-20 rule. He's focusing on the issues that 80% of the population stated was important to them. But yet the Democrats keep holding tight to this supremely left, progressive, very minority-minded issues. And let's face it, the Democrats are showing how to lose ugly, overcome by President Donald Trump's red wave when you have 89 counties going red, losing all 7 of the swing states. The Democratic Party isn't just drifting, it's drowning in rage and envy. Whether during Trump's address to Congress on Tuesday or on key pieces of policies that most Americans favor, Democrats are acting petty, petulant, and uber progressive. They're out of step with what most Americans and even many of their own constituents. A CBS News poll showed a whopping 76% of people who watched his address approved of what Trump had to say. Though a majority of the viewers were Republicans, the Republicans, remember, are only 28% of registered voters. Fox News alone had over 10 million viewers. CNN had over 3 million. MSNBC was 1.2 or 1.5. During the speech, Democrats refused to applaud anything Trump said, and he was having fun with it, pointing it out, even on the most common sense solutions. And what was so disheartening was, even in the heartwarming gestures, Trump honored invited guests who represented real-world tragedies and his policy solutions, and Democrats sat there sullen and angry. Donald Trump honored a 13-year-old brain cancer survivor, DJ Daniel, whose dream is to become a police officer and who has heroically overcome 16 surgeries. He was there beaming, and Donald Trump honored him by making him an honorary Secret Service member. And when DJ hugged the head of the Secret Service, tears, chills, emotion welling up in the vast majority of us watching. But yet, all the Democrats but one sat there, arms crossed, no emotion, no applause. To quote Senator Eric Schmidt, I think the Democrats really embarrassed themselves. I mean, they wouldn't even stand up for DJ, who survived cancer. I mean, it's childish, and it is. It is childish. Even Senator John Fetterman, Democrat of Pennsylvania, also broke his silence in social media, post ripping his fellow Democrats on Wednesday afternoon. Quote, a sad cavalcade of self-owned and unhinged petulance. It only makes Trump look more presidential and restrained. We're becoming the metaphorical car alarms that nobody pays attention to, and it may not be the winning message. And it couldn't be more true. And the Democrats are continuing to struggle to respond to Trump. Again, Trump is hitting them left and right. The barrage of executive orders that are continuously going out until he can get things done in Congress. On top of that 80-20 rule, it's just he is like there and he's just jabbing and punching and punching and jabbing. And the Democrats are doing what? Showing their indignation. President Trump gives fresh reasons for Democrats to rue their election loss in 2024. The failures of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris mean that everything they profess to care about, the transatlantic alliance, the state's capacity to improve society, the rule of law, is completely unwound. Democrats spent years declaiming that a second Trump presidency would be catastrophic, an existential threat to American democracy. Yet, they do not want to acknowledge or honor more Americans preferred Trump to the alternative that the Democratic Party set before them. And understanding how it all went so wrong would seem to be a proper priority for the Democratic leadership. Well, not so much, apparently. By watching the succession proceedings at the Democratic National Committee just a few weeks ago, it did not inspire much confidence. Ken Martin took the reins of the party apparatus by demonstrating the continuing incapacity for introspection as to why they lost. People want to say it was only 1.5%. It was a mandate. They lost. But yet, Mr. Martin continues to say, anyone saying we need to start over with a new message is wrong. We got the right message. By whose standard? When you stand and look in the mirror and profess to say this is the correct message, then yes, all you're going to get is mirroring back. But when you take away the blinders and look at the totality of the United States and those that went to vote, your message is not landing. It is not in congruence with what we, the people, want. Others in the Democratic Party think that it runs much deeper. Anyone who just says the message is fine, we just didn't get it out there, is very naive about the problem, says Seth Moulton, a Democratic congressman from Massachusetts. It's just an excuse for doing nothing and maintaining the status quo. Basically an excuse like, oh, it's okay. We got it. This is right. It's all right. Well, then get used to losing more. And the Republican Party is wanting to pounce on this. They're ready to pounce on this, especially with the midterm elections coming upon us. I know. We just got over one election. How can you be talking about another election? Well, put on your bootstraps, folks. We're about to get into a new election cycle. So the increasing educational polarization has realigned American politics, and it's not in the Democrats' favor. And maybe, just maybe, since that fateful day in Butler County, maybe common sense will be coming back into the realm. But one thing is to decry that Doge and Elon Musk is he's not elected, he's not a fit. That's why you have appointed cabinet members. The people want accountability. The people want our dollars to be used in a more effective manner. We cannot continue to be a bank clothed as a country for the rest of the world while we are continuing to falter into bankruptcy. Compounding these challenges is the party's preoccupation with Trump's polarizing persona, which has at times diverted attention from sensitive policy debates. But how about this? Rather than just saying, this is the line, I'm a Democrat, I will never vote for a Republican, even when a Republican idea or policy, even though it is in the best interest of the United States of America, it's in the best interest for the citizens of the United States of America, it's actually what 70% of the people want. I don't know. Maybe do your job. Your job is not to be pissed off all the time. Your job is not to be, oh, anti-Trump, I hate Trump, or be, I'm not going to validate him as a president. He's the president. Respect it. We had to respect Biden as a president, even though we don't have a clue what was going on for 2 years, whether he was capacitated to even be president. But you know what? You've had a poll, you had an election, you lost resoundingly in that election. And here's something for the Republicans. Don't think that you can just go ramshot and put in all of this hugely right-wing issues. Use the common sense that the people are hoping that you have. Utilize the common sense to ring in and bring in a balanced budget like Trump has said he wants to do. You know when the last time we had a balanced budget was, folks? President Bill Clinton. Democrat, President Bill Clinton. And he was great. Set aside his sexual proclivities. He was great. He balanced the budget. And you know what he also did during his presidency? He shrunk the government workforce in order to get spending under control, in order to create a surplus to pay down our deficit, which is nowhere near what it is today. It was probably a sixth of what it is today. Remember, we're at 36 trillion, TRILLION, trillion-dollar deficit. Soon, the taxes that are being collected will not even pay the interest on that. And then where are we? So bring back common sense to your governance. Bring back the fact that you are hired, you are beholden to the people of the United States, and you are supposed to be doing what's in the best interest of the United States and not lining the pockets of lobbyists or other interests or your own. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll talk about what happened in the Senate and their failure to protect girls' sports.